Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Dragon Ball. Now today I'm going to be giving you guys my weekly Q&A, so let's get right into this. Now first, well actually I can answer the first question right now. If I could live in any fictional universe, what would it be? It would obviously be the Dragon Ball world because, I mean, come on guys. You know, we all love the series so damn much. Why the hell would you not want to live in there? Yes, there's plenty of, things that can kill you and all that stuff, but the fact of the matter is that you can train to be stronger, and in that world, training is super crazy in the amount of strength you can really gain. I would, and maybe I would, depending on if I'd have prior knowledge of the universe or not. Like if I knew about Master Roshi, that's a little weird. If I didn't know about Master Roshi and all that stuff, I mean, just an average citizen that has not a lot of strength, I would still want to train just to get strong, because you can see all the very strong warriors in the world. You would want to be about their strength. Yes, I wouldn't be a Saiyan or anything like that. I'd be a human still. If I could be a Saiyan, I most definitely would want to. But Dragon Ball has such amazing features in its universe. It has things, futuristic elements, some, prehistoric elements in some parts. And there's a lot of, contradicting themes that really splice together really, really well. Like a starburst. Those commercials where things contradictions, and then use your dipstick. Same thing with Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is like a starburst. Maybe nothing of what I just said made sense, but Dragon Ball is like a starburst, and I freaking love starburst. But if I could be a Saiyan and become a Super Saiyan and then fight all the, minions of evil, then I definitely would. And of course you'd have to, if I knew about the Dragon Balls, I definitely would want to collect them. And what would I wish for? Probably eternal youth, I would say. Regardless of how old I get before I die, I would still want eternal youth. I think that would probably be a really good wish, but those are kind of the reasons why I would really want to be in the Dragon Ball world. Now, I want to hear what you guys think. What fictional world would you want to be in? And if it's a Dragon Ball world, go in depth of why you would want to be there, or go in depth of any of the worlds you would want to be in. But for me, it would definitely be the Dragon Ball world, just because of all the awesome things that can go down there. Okay, now this one right here, it's part 1 down here, so I'm going to read it off. I have a theory regarding GT that might help explain the inconsistencies and power levels and feats when compared to Z and Super. In Super, Goku and Beerus nearly destroying the universe just by their punches colliding. We see that they should be far stronger than the GT characters. But as you've pointed out many times, the power levels in GT's characters should far surpass Z and Super. If we assume GT takes place within a separate universe, then we can assume that everyone's power levels in that universe or timeline are overall much weaker. Okay, now here's I guess part 3. GT Goku in his base, or maybe this is a different one, I don't know. Okay, so for this one right here, he's basically saying that GT takes place in a separate universe and that everyone in that power level, yeah, well, that is pretty much it. Yeah, GT pretty much does take place in a different universe. That really is it. There's no other way. It's definitely not like in a canon timeline or anything. It's definitely in a separate timeline, not necessarily one of the 12 universes that we know of in Super. It's not necessarily that. I'm not saying you're getting at that, but it's definitely a different continuity in general, so that would be a good way. I mean, GT is just poorly written. That's why the characters are so inconsistent in power. Okay, so we can delete these two. GT Goku in his base being as strong as Super Saiyan 3 Goku against Buu can make sense if that universe's Super Saiyan 3 Goku had a much lower power level than the one we know. It allows everything that was said about power scaling and transformation multipliers to still be true. Do you think this could solve everything? It's a decent theory, but the thing is, GT was meant to be a continuation of the original series, so it has to be connected to that universe in some way, just going off of those characters' powers. But I've had people say like, there's no way Goku's power is as strong as Super Saiyan 3 in Z. And I'm going to do a video on this later because there's actually a bunch of other things to point out. But like, I don't see how people can honestly argue that Goku said General Rildo had a power even greater than that of Majin Buu. It's unclear of which Buu he's talking about. I would assume just Kid Buu, and not like Buu Han or something. And Goku was mopping the floor with Rildo without even having to transform. He wasn't even, going all out. Neither was Rildo to an extent, but he definitely forced Rildo to transform, and Goku could beat him as a Super Saiyan, basically. And then there's people like, oh, he wasn't as strong as Buu, even though Goku said so, and Goku wouldn't have bullshitted that line for no reason. They're like, oh, Pan knocked him back and, did some stuff. Pan knocked him back, but Rildo wasn't affected by it. He just got knocked back. Who knows why he did it? He wasn't injured or anything. And then when he goes and gets hit by her again, what's it do to him? Absolutely nothing. So that's a pretty bad argument. But Goku's probably actually stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku from Z, in his base. There's a bunch of other factors that I'll touch upon in my video whenever that, goes around the corner, because he definitely has things that would support him being stronger than that even. How pumped are you for the Star Wars Episode 7? I'm losing my shit in the wait. I'm definitely pretty pumped for it. Fallout 4 is definitely quenching my excitement, though. Your top 5 or top 10 favorite X-Men currently in comics? Well, I don't have a top 5 or a top 10, so this is going to be a tough question. They have to be alive, still have powers in the comics, still have to be relevant. You can't use the film versions. You can't say Deadpool because Deadpool's too cool to be an X-Men. Well, I can't answer this because I don't have 5, so yeah. I am I don't even read comics, so I don't even know which one would still have their powers. I would assume Wolverine would, which is pretty, he's a badass X-Men, even though it's a popular opinion, but he is badass. I am homeschooled in high school for 2 years, and I want to know what was high school like for you all those years back in the 90s and 2000s. What was it a living hell or was it a meh experience? Well, I've said before, I wasn't that popular, so it was kind of your average high school experience. Heartbreak, getting bullied, picked on, and then rising up and being, I guess, somewhat of a cool person my senior year, I guess. But usual high school stuff, nothing too extraordinary. I was just an average thing, maybe below average high school experience. I probably wouldn't have wanted to be homeschooled if that's what you want to know. I would have rather been in high school. I don't know why, but even though I don't know crap about Champa and Vados, I have a feeling that those two will be my favorite. In the future, those two will be my favorite in the series. Yeah, they could be. They definitely seem like interesting characters. Yu-Gi-Oh! God cards versus Goku beginning of Dragon Ball. I would probably say the Yu-Gi-Oh! God cards, but I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! In years. That's a better question for Quaman. How many miles can you run an hour? Or I guess it means in an hour. Oh, how many miles an hour can I run? Like, how many miles do you think Cell can run in an hour? I don't know how fast Cell is. Definitely faster than the speed of light. My phone's going off. I should turn off the ringer on that. How many miles an hour can I run? I can do the 10 miles per hour on treadmill. That's the best thing I can give you. Honestly, that's probably the best answer I could actually give you, is I can run the 10 miles an hour on a treadmill. That's about it. Who is smarter, Vegeta or Piccolo? I actually would say Piccolo. Definitely. Vegeta is smart though, but I think Piccolo definitely would have the higher intelligence. DBZ, who do you think the smartest main villain? Frieza, Cell, or Majin Buu? I think I would say Cell, but if you're talking about Buu Han with Gohan and Piccolo, I would probably say him, but we didn't get to see too much of him. But I think a safe bet would definitely be Cell. If you're giving me those three options, if you would say everything, I mean Dr. Gero, I guess. Dr. Gero would probably be the smartest. How strong is Cell compared to Metacooler? It's funny, I actually haven't. I'm going to be doing this eventually, and I'll probably do it with Mike, because we're both pretty good at power scaling. We'll have to figure how much stronger Cell is than like Frieza, because that'd give me a better. But I can't honestly answer that one because it'd just be a shot in the dark. If I had to take a shot in the dark, I would at least say, well, if I put Metacooler at, let's say, a 380 million, that would probably put Cell at least 5 times stronger than him. About. If you're talking about perfect Cell, it would probably put him around that range. That's just a ballpark, though. I really don't know. But that's a ballpark for me. Let's see. In Dragon Ball GT, how did Goku stay in SSJ4 longer than he could in his SSJ3? I thought he fought 7 dragons, so does this make sense to you? They explained that it doesn't consume as much energy. That's what they said in the series. So it doesn't consume as much energy. It's a more, controlled form. Why do people keep thinking that Demon King Dabura can beat Super Perfect Cell when he was playing with Gohan? I believe Gohan used all his power when he killed Cell. I guess you probably meant can't beat Cell. The thing is like we don't know what version of Cell Goku was comparing him at. But if Gohan's a Super Saiyan 2, I'd have to think that the writers intended that the writing was intended to be directed towards Super Perfect Cell. Even though it's questionable whether or not Goku could have sensed them. I think he may have been able to. It's very unclear. You could use arguments for both sides. But if Gohan's Super Saiyan 2, Dabura would have to be at least around that strength. And then when Dabura used his magic, Goku says, "Oh, he's a magic user. He's a lot stronger than what I thought." That would say he's stronger than Cell. And that whole section, that whole part of the series with Babidi's ship in the early, Buu saga, is really messed up with power scaling. And me and Mike are doing a video on that in the future, because that place doesn't make any sense at all. Because Dabura is stronger than Super Perfect Cell, and Vegeta's like, "Oh, I could beat Dabura, no problem." And then Vegeta's impressed that Goku, or he's like, "Oh, well, at least you're stronger than your son was against Cell when they fought." And Vegeta should have already been a lot stronger than that if he can beat Dabura, so it makes no sense. There's a lot of problems with that part of the series in terms of power scaling. Let's see. Majin Buu I guess he means, does Majin Buu run out of energy? He ran out of energy when he was fighting Kid Buu. Well, Goku said he's like, at least in the dub, he says, "I feel like a hamster in the wheel. No matter what energy I put out, he just keeps coming." Majin Buu doesn't really appear to run out of energy at all. He just has limitless power. At least, definitely Kid Buu. And I really think that all the forms would most likely have pretty much limitless energy. How strong is Turles compared to Super or Saiyan Saga Vegeta? Turles was what, like... Wow, it's actually been a while since I've seen that movie. Was Goku using Kaioken times 10 on him after or before the fruit? He'd definitely be at least twice as strong, but I have to look back at that movie because I don't remember if he used the Kaioken times 10 after he ate the fruit of the tree of might or before. I'd have to think it's after, but I think I've seen Turles get put around a 35,000 in his base. So that's probably, and Vegeta's an 18,000 for reference, so. Why do people keep thinking Demon King Dabura can... Oh, the same question we just answered. Favorite GTA game on PS2, Vice City. When do you think we will get to see Goten and Trunks be teenagers, or see them grow up and a little bit older in Dragon Ball Super in the Universe 6 arc? I'm pretty sure I've already answered this one, but I think we'll definitely see it in a little bit into the Universe 6 arc, if not after that. DBN, hey, in Resurrection of F movie, when Vegeta fights Frieza, will we see more of Vegeta destroy Frieza in Super? I mean, I would hope so. I can't possibly answer it, though, because I don't really know how they're writing the show, so. You have to use pages from the manga in your video. Is that fair? Because I got a strike for it. Please answer. Answer soon. It was a review, and I just hit 50 subs. I use pages from the original Dragon Ball manga all the time. I haven't really used too many super panels because I have heard it. I've heard you can get copyright strikes for that, but I've never seen it. But manga panels are good. I've never heard of anyone doing manga panels from the series. I've never heard of anyone getting strikes from that. Animation, definitely, from the show, but from the manga, I really can't imagine it. Unless it's super, then it's questionable, but I haven't really seen anyone I know get strikes for that. If Super Buu is 10 times stronger than Goku and base Gotenks has the same power Super Saiyan 3 Goku, shouldn't that mean Super Saiyan Gotenks should be able to beat Super Buu easily because that's J multiplier 50 times? I already answered this in my 2-hour Q&A, but you probably didn't see it, I'm sure, because it's 2 hours. The thing is that I don't really think base Gotenks is as strong as Super Saiyan 3 Goku, even though people say that after the training he should be based off Piccolo's, shock. I still think it's hard to believe that Gotenks would be that strong in his base. And I never really said that Boo is 10 times stronger than Goku. I said the bare minimum is 10 times. He's got to be a lot stronger than that, but mathematically and, you know, rounding down, bare minimum is 10 times. So, yeah. Ultimate Gohan versus Base Vegito. I would probably say Base Vegito, not using the filler, obviously. Just on the fact that whether or not Gohan and Goku would have been a stronger fusion, the Elder Kai even stated against Boo Tanks that they wouldn't need to transform when they did the Gokan fusion. So I would think Base Vegito would be able to beat Ultimate Gohan still. And you gotta think, the fusion boost, if Gohan's, you know, like, let's say 15 to 20 times stronger than Goku, the fusion, even though it's a different fusion and it's also a weaker fusion, arguably, Gotenks is definitely a lot more than 20 times stronger than Goten and Trunks individually, so I guess you can use that as a reference. What do you think Gohan would have wished for if he won the bingo tournament in Battle of Gods? That's actually an interesting question, but I can't really answer it because I don't know what Gohan... I don't think Gohan would have really used the wish, honestly, so... Do you think Yamcha would have wished for if he won the bingo tournament in Battle of Gods? Well, he probably would have wished for money like he was going to at the end of the Cell games. I am 4 years old. My sister is half my age. Now I'm 100 years old. How old's my sister? She's probably still 2 because you're not saying she aged 2. Unless she's either 2 or 50, man. But I'm going to stick with 2. So, in the first Bardock special, there's a truck going on outside with terrible brakes. So, in the first Bardock special, Kid Vegeta killed several Cybermen in one attack. Wait, does that mean Vegeta was stronger than Raditz and Nappa since he was about that level? Yeah, it's pretty implied that he's stronger than Nappa even. So, Fat Kid and Super Boo versus Mystic Gohan. Mystic Gohan would mop the... Mystic Gohan can mop the floor with regular Super Boo. And Kid Boo's weaker and Fat Boo's weaker, so he can mop the floor with all of them. I don't think them ganging up is going to do much unless they, like, absorb him. Or turn him into candy, but I'm sure he can dodge those shots. And the reason I say that is because Fat Boo could dodge the Boris Spit, which is a little bit different. But then again, Vegito didn't quite dodge Boo's candy beam. Whether or not he wanted to get hit by it or not, it's unclear. Because, you know, he wanted to be inside of Boo and all that stuff, so. Alright, part 1. Oh, this is a big one, okay. Okay, you're asking a big one. I'm hoping you're going to watch this Q&A because I'm going to try to answer this very in-depth-ish. Or to the best of my ability. Okay. There's this one girl in my school named Sarah. I really liked Sarah. So when I told her ex-boyfriend, good friend, that I liked her, he went over and asked her who she likes. She walked over to my side of the table and said someone around this area. Sean was sitting across from me. Sean sits next to her in Spanish class and they talk and laugh all the time. She even offered him tracks, our school money. She constantly is staring at him and playing with him. Although she shows no emotion with me, Sean is the most disgusting boy in our grade. He shoved a pencil up his butt and licked the poop off of it. He eats stuff out of trash and lunch every day. He takes stuff like peas and mac and cheese and mixes it with his milk and drinks. He even drinks hand sanitizer. I think Sarah knows about this. How does she like, or who does she like, and should I ask her out? I'm afraid of rejection. The number one thing, and I'm telling you, man, no matter how good looking a person is, everyone's going to face rejection at one point. You need to just ask her out, and you can't be afraid of rejection. Because no matter what happens, you can't be worse than a dude that licked poo off of a pencil. Based off the knowledge you gave me, she's showing no emotion towards you. I don't know if she talks to you at all. If she talks to you at all, then there's a decent chance. You know, I've been in that situation where girls, you know, they don't show emotions. Girls, when they're friends with the guy, they'll do, you know, they'll just show emotion towards them at all. Doesn't mean they're like them. That's a thing called the friend zone for them, but they're not exactly. You know, there is no friend zone. You put yourself in the friend zone, but the thing is, if they have a friend that's a guy, it doesn't necessarily mean they like them or anything like that. Most of the time, it doesn't mean that at all, actually. Whether or not she likes you, that's a little bit different. I'm not sure if, you know, if she talks to you, I think that you should try to ask her out if you think you have a decent chance. I don't really know her, but I think you should ask around. And do not be afraid of rejection, because confidence is the #1 thing women like. It sounds cliche, but it's true. I know this. Women love confidence, and you have to be confident. Don't just go up there and be like, hi. You have to think what you're gonna say. Think of a couple different responses that you're gonna get, and then think of some things to follow those up with, and you're gonna have the confidence down pat. Whether or not you get rejected, you don't need to worry about that, man. Just ask it. Don't worry about what people are gonna think, and just do not worry about rejection, because she is no better than you or me. We're all just people, so just think of her as another person that you're gonna ask out on a date or whatever. So yeah, good luck, man. Let me know how it all goes. All right, and I think I'm gonna end it off on this one right here. Super Saiyan Goten post Room of Spirit and Time, which would also be the hyperbolic time chamber for those of you who don't know, versus Android 16. I'd probably say Goten, just because of how scared 18 was of him before, regardless of whether or not he was weaker or stronger than 18. Goten and Trunks, that being. I think after the training, he would have to be at least close to 16, right? But it's really hard to say. There's no evidence to support it. It's just a random guess. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of my Q&A. We actually didn't answer too many questions. I actually spent a lot of time on a couple of them. But I hope you guys enjoyed this question. Maybe you got some tips about love, some new insight in Dragon Ball. And don't forget to let me know what universe, or I guess fictional world, you would want to live in and why. I'd like to hear about that in the comment section down below. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.